The distress signal, the moon base was quiet. Stars blinked above the glass dome. Inside the medical lab, Dr. Rayan Cole sat alone, sipping cold coffee. He was used to silence. Space was full of it. His screen beeped. He looked up. Incoming signal. Unknown source flashed across the display. Rayan frowned. The signal wasn't from Earth or any known colony. It was weak, broken, and barely readable. He ran a quick scan. No match. But one word appeared in the message. Help. Just that. No location, no name, no language. Just a single, desperate word. What the hell? Rayan whispered. He wasn't supposed to leave base without command permission, but something felt wrong. He'd seen distress signals before. They were usually false alarms or broken drones. But this felt real. After a moment of silence, he made his decision. Pilot, prepare my shuttle. I'm going out. The shuttle flew quietly across the dark. Ahead, a small moon orbited a dead planet. It had no name. Maps called it X-23, and no one ever visited it. As the shuttle landed, Rayan saw thick red clouds in the sky. Lightning flashed now and then. The place looked wild, like it didn't want to be found. Pilot, keep engines warm, he said. I won't be long. He stepped out, his boots sinking into soft black dirt. Tall trees with glowing leaves surrounded him. They looked alien, too perfect, too still. The tracker beeped. He followed the signal deeper into the jungle. After 20 minutes, he found her. She lay against a tree, barely breathing. Her body was covered in armor, sharp and dark like stone. Blue blood stained the ground. Her skin was silver, her eyes closed. Strange symbols marked her arms. Rayan froze. She wasn't human, and she was dying. He knelt beside her and opened his medical kit. Stay with me, he said softly. He scanned her body. Poison. Strong, fast, and not from this world. She had maybe 10 minutes. He worked quickly, mixing human medicine with whatever alien tools he had studied before. His hands moved fast, almost on their own. She gasped. Her eyes opened. Bright, gold. They stared at him, full of pain and power. You're human, she said. Rayan nodded. Yes. I'm a doctor. You called for help. I didn't. She stopped. Her voice was weak. Just stay still, he said. You're safe. Now, he gave her another injection. Her breathing slowed. Her eyes fluttered shut. Rayan sat back, breathing hard. He had stopped the poison. Her life signs were rising. She was stable. For now. Then she spoke again, eyes still closed. You don't know what you've done. Rayan leaned in. What do you mean? She opened her eyes again. This time, there was no pain, only warning. I am not just anyone, she said, and by saving me, you've changed everything. Before he could ask more, a roar echoed through the jungle. Rayan turned sharply. Shadows moved between the trees. Something, or someone, was coming. The alien woman looked at him. They found me, she said. You must run. Rayan shook, his head. I'm not leaving you. She smiled weakly. Foolish, but brave. He helped her sit up. Her armor clicked as she tried to move. Who's after you? He asked. She didn't answer. Instead, she placed a hand on his chest. Listen carefully, she said. If I don't survive, tell them you were my healer. They will know what it means. Rayan's heart beat faster. Who? Who will know? She looked into his eyes. The Empire. Another roar came, closer now. Rayan stood up, blaster in hand. Behind him, the woman slowly rose, her strength returning. Ready? She asked. Rayan nodded. Not really, she smirked. Then we fight. And with that, they turned toward the darkness, where death waited in the trees. She is the Empress. The jungle was alive with sound. Not birds, not insects, but something else. Heavy, sharp, fast. Rayan held his breath. The alien woman stood beside him now. Her armor was damaged, but her eyes were awake, alert, scanning the shadows. She moved like a soldier, but something in the way the jungle feared her told Rayan she was more than just that. A branch snapped. Rayan turned. 3 tall creatures emerged from the mist. They had pale skin, long black armor, and blades for hands. No words, just hunger in their eyes. Draith hunters, the woman whispered. Assassins. Assassins? Rayan asked, raising his blaster. Assassins for who? She didn't answer. The first creature leapt. Rayan fired, missed. Before the Draith could strike, the woman moved. Her hand went to her belt. A hidden blade snapped out, slicing across the creature's chest. It fell with a hiss, melting into black smoke. The others charged. Rayan ducked, fired again. This time he hit one. The blast burned through its chest. The third one tackled him, pinning him down. Its breath was cold, like dry ice. Sharp claws reached for his face. A flash. Blue fire. The creature screamed and burst into ash. The woman stood, over him, her eyes glowing. Smoke rose from her palm, some kind of energy weapon only she could wield. Stay close, she said. They ran. Minutes later, they reached a cliff. The jungle stretched below them like a dark ocean. Thunder cracked in the distance. The woman fell to one knee, breathing hard. Rayan helped her up. We need to leave, he said. They'll be back. She looked at him, truly looked. For the first time, her face softened. You saved me again, she said. Even when you could have run. Rayan shrugged. That's kind of my thing. A faint smile touched her lips. Then a ship appeared above them. Sleek, black, shaped like a dagger. It hovered in silence. A beam of light dropped, scanning. Them both. Friend or enemy? Rayan asked. The woman stood tall. Friend, she said. My ship, a voice echoed from the craft, cold and robotic. Identity confirmed. Welcome, Empress Solara. Rayan blinked. What? She turned to him slowly. I am Solara, she said. Empress of the Draxian Empire, ruler of 8 systems, commander of 3 fleets. I came here to stop a war. Instead, I was betrayed. Rayan took a step back. Empress? Yes. His mind raced. He had healed her without knowing, fought beside her, almost died for her. And now, she said, you are bound to me. Rayan shook his head. What does that even mean? In my culture, she explained, if someone saves the life of the Empress, they are blood-bound. They become more than protector. They become part of the royal chain. Protected, respected, feared. I don't want any of that, Rayan said. I'm just a doctor. Too late, she replied. You already chose. And they already know. Inside the ship, the halls were dark and quiet. Rayan felt like an intruder. Alien symbols glowed on the walls. He noticed guards in the shadows, tall, armored, watching him with suspicion. They don't like me much, he said. They don't understand, Solara replied. They still believe humans are primitive, weak. I'm starting to take that personally. She paused. But I don't believe that. You saved me. Not because you wanted power. Not because you wanted reward. You helped. Because you chose to? Yeah, Rayan said. And now I'm stuck on a flying alien palace. Solara stopped in front of a large door. Do you wish to return home? Rayan hesitated. He thought of the moon base, the silence, the emptiness. He thought of the jungle, the fight, her voice. Not yet, he said. She nodded. The doors opened. Inside was a war room. Maps of galaxies, holograms of planets, fleets, and armies. A red zone blinked on one side. That's where I was supposed to go, Solara said. A peace meeting. But they set a trap. Who? Rayan asked. My cousin Lord Valak. He wants the throne. So, he sent assassins? Yes. And he will send more. Rayan folded his arms. Then what's the plan? She turned to him, eyes like fire. We fight back. Outside the ship, deep in space, another ship watched them. Cloaked. Silent. On board, a shadowy figure stood before a screen. Lord Valak. He smiled. So the Empress lives. And she has a pet human. He turned to his commander. Send the message. Plan is moving forward. And tell the Warbringers and the game has changed. The assassins arrive. The Empress slept. For the first time in many days, her body was healing properly. The poison was gone. Her heart beat steady. Her breath calm. She lay in a chamber of light, inside a healing pod surrounded by soft blue mist. Rayan stood outside the chamber, arms crossed, eyes scanning the monitors. He couldn't sleep. Not after what he had learned. Empress. Bloodbound. Galactic war. He was just a doctor. A guy who used to treat minor burns and broken arms back on a mining outpost near Mars. Now he was standing on an alien battleship, being watched by guards, with plasma rifles carrying the title of Protector of the Throne. He didn't ask for this, and yet, he didn't regret saving her. A soft voice spoke behind him. You do not belong here. Rayan turned. One of the alien generals stood there, tall, skin like dark iron, eyes glowing blue. Yeah, Rayan said. I figured that out already. You are weak, soft, a liability. Rayan didn't reply. He just walked past him. Elsewhere, deep, in space, a transmission pulsed in the void, encrypted, invisible to normal scanners. It reached a stealth ship drifting among asteroid fields. Inside that ship, 6 beings waited. They had no names, no faces, only numbers. Unit 1 to Unit 6. They were the Void Assassins, elite killers trained in the art of shadow warfare. No sound, no fear, no mistakes. Unit 3 opened the message. Target. Zilara. Mission. Success at all costs. Kill the human first. They moved in silence. The ship turned toward the Empress's cruiser. They were coming. Meanwhile, Zilara awoke. She stepped out of the healing pod, armor shining again. Energy returned to her body. She didn't speak. She simply nodded to the guard, who immediately left to alert the generals. Rayan met her in the strategy chamber. How do you feel? He asked. Ready? He looked at her. We need to talk about what happens next. Your cousin Valak. He won't stop, right? No, she said. And now that he knows I'm alive, he will send something worse. Worse than blade-handed. Jungle monsters? Yes, Void Assassins. Rayan frowned. That name sounds very final. Because it is. Before they could say more, the ship lights flickered. Rayan stiffened. That normal? Zilara stepped forward, eyes narrowing. No. Alarms. Blared. Intrusion detected. Hull breach. Sector 7. The Empress drew her weapon, a long energy blade that hummed like a whispering storm. They're here, she said. Rayan reached for his blaster. How did they get in without a trace? They're not soldiers, she said. They're ghosts. The corridors turned red with warning lights. Security bots moved. Doors sealed. But nothing stopped the Void Assassins. They didn't walk. They flowed. Between vents, behind walls, under floors. Silent, invisible, fast. Unit 1 reached the engine core and planted an explosive. Unit 4 slipped past 4 guards without being seen. Unit 6 walked directly into a control room and killed everyone inside in 4 seconds. Clean. Efficient. Rayan and Zilara moved together through the main corridor. The ship was shifting into lockdown, but they had to reach the bridge. This isn't a fight, Rayan said. It's a hunt. No, she said, eyes burning. Not if we turn the hunt around. They stopped at a sealed door. Zilara placed her hand on a scanner. The wall opened to reveal a hidden room, dark, cold, filled with old armor and forgotten weapons. What is this place? Rayan asked. My father's chamber, she said. He was the last Empress's protector, like you are now. Rayan hesitated. I'm not like him. Not yet. She tossed him a strange device, half glove, half shield. Wear this. It adapts. Adapts to what? Your instincts. Outside, the assassins reached the throne chamber. They stopped. It was empty. Suddenly, walls closed behind them. The lights turned off. Then a voice. Welcome. Zalara. The trap was sprung. Rayan and Zalara stepped into the shadows, attacking from above. The glove on Rayan's hand reacted, turning his punches into shockwaves. He moved like he'd done this before, like something inside him had woken up. Assassins fell. But Unit 1 and 2 were still standing. Stronger, faster. Rayan was thrown against a wall, coughing. Unit 1 walked toward him. You are the weak link, it said. Your death ends the bond. Its blade rose. Then, fire. A wave of energy blasted the assassin away. Zalara stood over Rayan, both hands glowing. He is not your target, she growled. He is mine. She fought like lightning, silent, furious. The throne chamber shook. Rayan got back on his feet, grabbed his blaster, and joined the fight. 10 minutes later, silence returned. 4 assassins dead. 2 escaped. Zalara bled from her shoulder. Rayan's arm was burned, but they were alive. Back, on the enemy ship, Lord Valak watched the feed end. She survived, he muttered, and the human fights like one of us. He turned to his warlord. Plan Phase 2. If we can't kill them in the dark, we burn them in the light. A human among aliens, the warship soared through space, silent, massive, and full of tension. Had been 3 days since the attack, 3 days since the assassins came, 3 days since a human doctor far from home helped save the life of an alien Empress again. Rayan Cole stood in the observation deck staring at the stars. They looked the same as always, bright, cold, and far. But nothing felt the same anymore. Behind him, alien soldiers walked past in silence. They looked at him with strange eyes, part curiosity, part suspicion, part fear. He didn't belong. Here, not yet. Elsewhere on the ship, in a dark chamber of steel and stone, Zalara sat before her generals. 6 of them, each from a different world, some with horns, some with wings, some with skin like crystal, all powerful, all proud. None of them trusted humans. You brought an outsider aboard our sacred vessel, one general growled. He is not bonded by law. He is not trained in our ways. He saved my life, Zalara replied calmly. Once. But now he draws blades beside you in battle. He has earned that right, has he? Another general asked. Or are you letting your emotions cloud your judgment? Zalara's golden eyes narrowed. You forget who I am. No, the crystal-skinned general said softly. We remember exactly who you are. The last Empress who trusted an outsider, lost her throne. The room fell silent. Then Zalara stood. You want proof of his worth? She said. Then give him a trial, the old way. The generals looked at each other. You believe he will survive? He already has, she said. More than once. That night Rayan sat in the quarters given to him. Cold metal walls, a strange glowing plant in the corner, and a bed that felt like stone. He didn't sleep much. The door hissed open. Zalara entered, her armor removed, wearing something more. Ceremonial, dark silk that shimmered like starlight. You're being tested tomorrow, she said. Rayan raised an eyebrow. Tested? The trial of fire and mind. The ancient rite. It's how outsiders earn the trust of the inner circle. What happens if I fail? You're sent back to your world, and I lose command of my fleet. And if I pass? She looked at him for a long moment. Then you become more than protector. You become symbol. The first human to be recognized by the Council of Suns. Rayan sighed. You know I'm not a warrior, right? You fought better than warriors, she said, because you cared. The next day the trial began. It wasn't a fight. Not at first. Rayan was taken to a massive chamber, full of alien light, strange gravity, and shadows that whispered. The first part, the chamber of memory. He was shown images of his past, painful ones. The patients he couldn't save. The child on Mars colony who died in his arms. The brother he lost to a mining accident. Guilt rose inside him like a storm. "Your weakness is your heart," a voice echoed. Rayan stood firm. "No," he said. "My heart is my weapon." The images vanished. The second part, the path of flame. A corridor of fire appeared. Real fire. Alien plasma. It reacted to fear. The more afraid he was, the hotter it burned. Rayan closed his eyes and walked forward. One step. Then another. Memories tried to shake him. Fear screamed in his ear, but he kept walking. On the other side, the flames died. A council member nodded. He walks not without fear, but through it. The final test was not for Rayan alone. It was for the Empress. As he stood before the council, Zilara was asked one question. If this human turned on you, would you still protect him? She looked at them all, her voice steady. Yes. Why? Because trust is not given by law or blood, she said. It is earned through choice, and he chose to stand with me when no one else did, the council whispered. Then the decision came. Rayan Cole was accepted. He was named Sunsworn, a title not given in 100 years. Alien guards bowed as he passed. Generals gave him a nod, small but real. Zilara met him in the hallway. You have their respect now, she said. What do I do with it? Use it to change things. But peace didn't last long. A transmission arrived hacked into their system. It was a live feed from a prison world on the edge of Draxian space. Lord Valak stood over a human boy, maybe 10 years old, scared, shaking. This one, Valak said coldly, says he's from Earth, says he knows your doctor. Rayan's face turned pale. No. Valak smiled. You've started something, Empress. Now let's see how far you're willing to go to end it. The screen cut. Silence. Then Zilara spoke one word. War. The betrayal within the council chamber was dark. No words were spoken, no orders were given. Only silence, heavy like cold iron, filled the air. The screen had gone black just moments ago, but its echo stayed in everyone's mind. A child, human, shaking in fear, and Lord Valak's cruel smile. Rayan stood frozen. That boy. He knew him. He had treated him once. Ari, a miner's son from Luna Station. The boy had a bright mind and weak lungs. Curious. Kind. He used to sneak into Rayan's clinic just to watch the scanner lights, and now he was a prisoner. Bait. Zilara turned to Rayan. You know him? Rayan nodded slowly. Yes. Valak knew that. He wanted to make this personal. Rayan clenched his fists. It already is. Later, in the strategy room, generals argued. This is a trap, one said. He wants us to rush. But it involves a human, another replied, and the protector is bloodbound. If we ignore this, we lose his trust, and Earth's future alliance. What future? Someone muttered. They are still crawling through their solar system. Rayan heard every word. He didn't speak. He simply stared at the map glowing in the center of the room. Coordinates of a dark world on the edge of known space. The prison planet, Kyle 7. No one escaped from there. Not even ghosts. But the problem wasn't just outside. The real threat was inside the ship. That night, while Zilara met with her inner circle, Rayan wandered the halls. The ship felt colder than usual. The soldiers still stared, but now with curiosity, not just suspicion. In a side corridor, he heard voices, whispers. He paused near a wall. Shadows moved beyond the corner. He recognized one voice. It belonged to Commander Celix, one of Zilara's closest advisors. Loyal, trusted, decorated in battle. But the words, The boy is leverage. She won't risk him. And the human? He'll follow wherever she leads. Rayan's blood turned to ice. Another voice answered. Mechanical, filtered. Not from this ship. Good. Deliver the code before sunrise. When the gate opens, we strike. Rayan stepped back. Too loud. A metal clink. The whispering stopped. Then her footsteps. Fast. He ran. Later, he sat across from Zalera in her private war room. She listened to everything he said. Then she stood, silent for a long time. Celix has served since my mother. Ruled, she said. He trained with me, fought beside me. He bled for the Empire. He's betraying you. Are you sure? I heard it with my own ears. She turned to the wall, stared at the stars. Then she said, Bring him to me, alive. But when they entered Celix's quarters, he was already gone. Room empty. Communicator smashed. Armor missing. He had vanished. That same night, the ship's main gate, a massive portal used for long-distance warp jumps, began activation. Without orders, security systems failed. Lights flickered again. And from the dark, they came. Not assassins this time. Saboteurs, cloaked in stolen armor, using codes Celix had given them. They moved straight for the core, aiming to destroy them, ship from within. Rayan fought with the guards, not just to survive, but to protect the only chance the human boy had. If they died here, Valak would win. Zalera joined the fight, sword in hand, eyes glowing. She moved like fire, furious and focused. Rayan used his adaptive glove, blocking blasts, disarming enemies, protecting wounded crew. He didn't fight like a warrior. He fought like someone who refused to lose anyone else. They pushed the saboteurs back, room by room. Finally, in the core chamber, they found Celix. He wore dark armor now, ice cold. Why? Zalera asked. You are too soft, he said. You trust too easily. And you gave a human the title of Sunsworn? Our ancestors burn at the thought. So you sold your empire to a tyrant? Valak understands strength. He will bring order. He will bring death. Better death than weakness. He turned to Rayan. You don't belong here, no matter how many you save. They will never truly see you as one of us. Rayan raised his weapon. I don't need to be one of you, to do what's right. The fight was quick. Zalera wounded Celix, but didn't kill him. You will live, she said coldly. You will answer for what you've done. The Empire will judge you, and remember your name with shame. Hours later, the ship was secured. Celix was locked in a containment cell. Rayan sat quietly in the observation deck again. This time, Zalera joined him. You were right, she said. I wish I wasn't. They looked out into space. In the distance, Kyle 7 spun like a black coin waiting. We go next, she said. And if it's a trap, then we spring it. But deep in the shadows of space, Valak watched through a stolen feed. You captured Celix, he said. Fine. He turned to the boy. Tell me more about your human doctor. The child looked up, teary-eyed. Valak leaned in. Does he know? You're not really who you say you are? The boy blinked and smiled. Too wide, too cold, too perfect. The war for the throne space was quiet, but inside the hearts of those on the Empress's ship, it was war already. KL-7, the prison planet, rotated slowly in the distance like a cursed star. Surrounded by debris, storm clouds, and defense satellites, it looked like a place where light went to die. Rayan stared at it from the war table, his jaw tight. Somewhere down there, a boy, or something wearing a boy's face, was waiting, pretending to be weak, pretending to need saving. Zalera stood beside him dressed in royal war armor for the first time, black and silver, lined with ancient runes. Her crown had been replaced by a soldier's mask. Today she wasn't an empress, she was a weapon. This is a trap, Rayan said. Yes. You're still going. Yes. Then so am I. The infiltration team consisted of 9 Zalera, Rayan, 2 royal guards, 4 elite fighters called the Sunwalkers, and a drone with old Imperial codes to breach KL-7's perimeter. They flew in low, silent, cloaked. As they entered the atmosphere, the clouds turned purple, lightning cracked. The prison world welcomed them like a beast with open jaws. On the foe, ground Kale 7 was worse than they imagined. Endless steel towers, machine fog, broken prisoners walking like shadows, no guards in sight, but cameras on every wall. Rayan held his breath. Everything about the place screamed wrong. "Where's the boy?" he asked. The drone led them through abandoned corridors. Data showed a signal in Sector 9, deep underground, but as they reached the main shaft, the elevator doors opened on their own. Someone was waiting, and he wanted them to see. They descended. Floor by floor, lights flickered. Static filled their comms. Xalara's eyes stayed forward. Rayan gripped his blaster tighter. Then they stepped into the chamber, a wide room, flooded in red light, and in the center, the boy sat on a floating chair, hands cuffed, eyes wide with false fear. Rayan rushed forward, but Xalara raised a hand. "Wait." The boy looked up. "Dr. Rayan, you came." His voice, wrong. Too calm, too rehearsed. "Ari?" Rayan asked. The boy smiled. "It's me. Don't you remember?" But his eyes didn't shine like a child's. They glowed, and behind him, Valak emerged from the shadows, cloaked in black and crimson, face sharp, cold and confident. "Thank you for coming, dear cousin," Valak said to Xalara. "I knew you'd bring your new pet." Rayan raised his weapon. "He's not a boy, is he?" Valak smirked. "No, not anymore. The real child died months ago. This one is a mimic, part organic, part AI, built to feel real, to make you hesitate." Rayan's blood ran cold. "Why?" "Because you care," Valak said. "You humans are so easy to predict. Your weakness is your heart." Then everything exploded. Walls shattered. Drones dropped from the ceiling. Mimic soldiers, copies of prisoners and guards, rushed the room. Xalara drew her blade. "We end this now." Rayan stayed by her side, firing shot after shot, using his adaptive glove to shield her from blasts. But the numbers were too many. They were surrounded. Valak watched from above. "This is not just your defeat, sister," he said. "This is history correcting itself. The throne belongs to those willing to do anything for it." But Xalara smiled beneath her mask. "Then you've already lost." Suddenly, the ship above fired a beam into the prison. A secret weapon the EE Council didn't know about, the sun piercer. Xalara had kept it hidden for this moment. It melted through steel and silence alike, slicing the prison's power core in half. The ground shook. Lights died, mimics froze, and Valak screamed. The final battle was brutal. Xalara and Valak face to face. They fought like storms clashing, energy blades clashing with ancient fury. Siblings born of royal blood, now destined to destroy each other. Rayan faced the mimic boy, now transformed into a monster of wires and whispers. He couldn't save the real child, but he could end the lie. He shot it through the core and it fell. Finally, Xalara stood over Valak. He was bleeding, weak, but laughing. "Kill me," he whispered. "Become what you hate." Xalara raised her blade, paused, then turned. "No," she looked to Rayan. "Let the council judge him. I will not win by becoming him." Valak's face twisted with rage. Rayan smiled. Now that's what makes her a real Empress. Hours later, the ship returned to orbit. Kyle 7 burned behind them. On the bridge, Xalara removed her mask. The generals bowed. The crew saluted. The Empress had returned, and this time, she had earned her throne again. Not through fear, but through honor. Beside her, Rayan stood, bruised, exhausted, but alive. "You saved me," Xalara said quietly. "You saved me first." As they looked at the stars, a new message came from the council. "Earth requests formal alliance talks." Xalara turned to Rayan. "They finally believe in you." He nodded. "No, they believe in us." Eternal protection, peace was not quiet. It was tense, uncertain, temporary, After the war on KL-7, the galaxy stood still, watching, waiting, unsure what would come next. Valak was in chains, Solara back on the throne, and Rayan was no longer just a human doctor. He was something else now, not royal, not soldier, but a symbol. 3 days after the battle, the Council of Suns gathered, an ancient meeting of the galaxy's most powerful leaders, held only during times of massive change. This was one of those times. The chamber floated above a white dwarf star, glowing beneath transparent floors. Delegates filled the circle, reptilian kings, crystalline queens, artificial minds in floating orbs, and in the center stood Empress Xelara. Beside her, Rayan Cole, a human, wearing no armor, no title, only truth, and all eyes were on him. Earth has always been small, said one delegate. Weak. Why should we recognize its people now? Xelara stepped forward. Because one of them saved your future. Once, twice. We do not judge by acts, another voice said. We judge by legacy, Rayan spoke, his voice calm. Real. Then judge me by what comes next. Not what I am, but what we can build together. A hush fell over the chamber. Rayan continued. You think humans are unpredictable, emotional, too soft. And maybe we are. But in a galaxy filled with power and fear, maybe that's what you need. Not control, not weapons, but choice. Vote was close, 12 yes, 11 no, and 1 silent. Then the last orb spoke. Humanity is young, but it has heart. Earth was accepted. That night on the Empress's ship there was no celebration. Not yet. Rayan sat on the observation deck again. The stars hadn't changed, but he had. Solara joined him. You didn't sleep again, she said. Too much on my mind. You did what no one else could. You brought Earth to the Council. They'll remember your name. Names fade. Not yours. He looked at her. What happens now? Now we prepare. Valak's followers still whisper in the dark, and the galaxy. It remembers blood faster than peace. Then let me stay, he said. Not as a protector, not even as a friend, but as a bridge. Between your world and mine. She nodded. You already are. Suddenly an alert blinked on the ship's core screen. Unidentified vessel entering orbit. No weapons, no signal, just silence. Rayan stood. Could be a lost trader, he said. Solara frowned. No, it came here on purpose. They entered the hangar together. The ship was old, human design, Earth origin, military class. The door opened. A single person walked out. A woman, gray uniform, scar over her left eye. She saluted. Dr. Rayan Cole. He blinked. Yes? On behalf of the Black Core Initiative, I'm here to inform you. Humanity is not as small as you think. He froze. What? We've been watching you, she said. Since Luna. Since the jungle. And now, the Council. Why? Because you proved we're ready. But more importantly, you made a deal without us. Solara stepped forward, calm but alert. Who are you? The woman smiled. Someone who's about to offer you both a choice. We can help you build your alliance, or we can destroy it. Rayan narrowed his eyes. You threatening me? No. I'm offering you reality. The galaxy isn't ready for peace. Not yet. But with the right people in the right place, she looked between them. You can protect your worlds. Together. A week later, 2 ships left orbit. One carried Valak to his final trial. The other, faster, darker, disappeared into untraceable space. The Black Core. Rayan watched them go. He stood on the balcony of Solara's new palace, now orbiting above Earth's moon, a neutral zone between worlds. Below, humans looked up. Above, aliens looked down. And in the middle stood a human and an empress, bound not by law, but by choice. The new galactic seal was carved with two shapes: blade and a leaf, war and healing, Caxilera and Rayan, and on every world one message played, in every language: this world is under eternal protection.